James Cameron is well known for his films Terminator, Titanic, and Avatar, and he has a very distinctive style of directing. All of his films are controversial and no doubt are packed with dramatic music, effective camera angles to portray his important idea for each film. He stands out as one of the top directors to this day because, as said by Jonathon Mulrooney, he courts the audience's desire of immersion in an alternative universe and leaves that desire conspicuously unfulfilled, as in his film Avatar. Their unfulfilled desire for an imagined world is itself a valuable aesthetic experience. In a way, he takes us to a whole new world that you wish you might actually exist. And at the end, it can leave you with a mix of emotions or a change of perspective with the way you see life. He does so by combining extremely dramatic yet melancholy components while using very convincing techniques. The first element I want to discuss is his use of sound effects and music. In Avatar, he showed destruction versus peace through careful and effective use of this technique. In the beginning scene, he shows the huge home tree of Pandora, and it's very peaceful, standing in the green forest, and all you hear is the sounds of nature. But soon after, you see huge aircraft zooming around the corner, and that peaceful silence is immediately destroyed. You hear an aggressive music track being played, and the rowdy sound of the helicopters drown out the natural sounds of the environment. This use of music and sound effects is in a way very cutting, and it acts as a metaphor for the actual incident that is about to take place, which is the aggressive humans destroying the innocent Navi. You can hear the screaming throughout this entire attack and afterwards, and it adds more pain to the viewer, as James Cameron wanted to make the scene more appalling and emphasized. The soundtrack cuts out completely, which builds more suspense when the home tree falls to the ground. And then you hear violins playing and the creaking and groaning of the tree as if it's crying, which adds to the pain that we already feel for the Navi. This particular use of sound effects personifies the home tree, and its destruction instantly makes us feel more sad because it was as if the tree was alive. And the second element that I wanted to touch upon is the mise-en-scene of this film, and that overall it proves the importance of respect and how we can gain it. He used music to represent emotions and sound effects to represent concrete ideas into the viewer's minds. To reinforce those ideas, though, he used the technique of composition, which can be seen when comparing Avatar and Titanic. In both endings, the home tree goes from horizontal to vertical, and the Titanic went from horizontal to vertical. They both represent the lives of the species who, after a disaster, are on the opposite angle, and their lives were suddenly turned upside down. These two films are very memorable because of his choice of techniques and were just as moving. I believe that they have a huge change in people's lives, which proved him to be a very successful director.